Nerdcast assemble!
Stay dandy, baby.
The latest episode of ReZero has lots of witches, bitches, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. First and foremost, this review is going to be very quick. I'm very short on time, and in lieu of just not doing a review, I want to give you guys my quick thoughts on this episode, which was fast-paced, crazy, with lots of information being thrown at you, so let's go ahead and dive right in. At the end of the last episode, Subaru was thrown into this mystical realm at this sanctuary, or at least that's what we know it as, a sanctuary, and suddenly he's in a mysterious field with the Witch of Greed, otherwise known as Echidna. Now, Echidna's a pretty interesting character. I'm not really sure what her deal is, if she's good, if she's bad. She herself claims to be evil, but I feel that there's something else going on with this character. What is interesting to note, however, is that we do get to learn that she is indeed dead, and she's essentially in her very own graveyard, and she's dead along with a number of other witches who also have their very own distinguishing features and titles, which are of course related to the 7 deadly sins. Obviously, there's a connection between the witch cultists and these characters, and it seems as if their power, which is known as witch factor, actually belongs to each of these individual archbishops, and that explains why Subaru actually has Beetlejuice's powers pretty much right now in the series. But they do a lot of big name drops in this episode. Like I said, we are introduced, of course, to Echidna, who is the Witch of Greed, but we also have the Witch of Gluttony, who goes by the name of Daphne. We also have the Witch of Lust, Carmilla, the Witch of Wrath, Minerva, of course, Sloth, who is Sekhmet. We have Pride, who is Typhon, and then we have Envy, who killed everyone. While this entire scene was very important, it was also kind of cryptic. I'm not really sure what the deal with Echidna is actually going to be, but she basically has taken a large interest in Subaru, ends up kicking her out of her weird dimension, and suddenly he's back with all of his friends, where we're introduced to the character of Garfield, who is a crazy madman. And apparently he is the brother of Frederica. You can see the resemblance, they both look like shark people. And Garfield is not exactly a nice guy. He likes to fight, he likes to throw down, and it looks like he's also going to be crucial to this current arc in the storyline, because right after that, he actually escorts them to this hidden village in the woods, which is actually the true sanctuary that they've been looking for, where all of these demi-humans live. Now, the big twist here is that as soon as they actually entered this place, there's no way that they're going to be able to leave. There's a massive barrier which has been erected all around it, and this is where Roswell and Ram is, and basically Roswell explains that the only way that they're actually going to be able to get out of here properly is that someone is going to have to go through some sort of trial in this witch's graveyard, the graveyard of greed, of Echidna, and it's not going to be able to be Subaru, and it's going to have to be Amelia, which is great because she's going to take a more proactive role, and she even reassures all of the people in the village below her castle that she's going to do her best to look out for their best interest, and she ends up gaining a lot of favor with them, which of course was a little rocky at first. So I'm excited for this prospect because it shows that Amelia is finally going to do something, which I think is actually kind of important for her character. And while I love the character of Subaru, man, this dude needs a break, and this is going to be the perfect opportunity for it. However, at the end of the episode, as she makes her way to the sanctuary to potentially meet with the Witch of Greed, suddenly something bad happens. Subaru runs in, and he's all of a sudden in some sort of weird, trippy, LSD-infused world of madness. He passes out, and the episode ends. What's the rundown on this episode of ReZero, Starting Life in Another World? This is a crucial episode that all people need to watch. I mean, just about every episode of ReZero is crucial, but this one has so much information in it that it sort of begs rewatching, and I kind of need to watch the episode again to kind of fully, truly understand what is going on here, especially because the opening scenes with Echidna are so freaking atmospheric and crazy. Like, they're not even actually in, like this beautiful landscape. It's all just like an illusion that's actually created by her, and she seems to have a lot of control over all of this space, and I imagine this is something that all of the witches are actually going to be able to do. But again, while she might come across as trustworthy, there's something about her that's just not quite right, and something that's very disturbing to say the least, and all of her interactions with Subaru are crazy. The fact that she poisons his tea was something? I'm not sure what it is. It completely messes with him, though. Basically, she comes across as kind of evil, but also kind of playful, and I can't wait to see what her ultimate deal is going to be and where this is all going to be headed. But I do like the connection between the witch cultists and the actual ancient witches that we've seen in the series, which all have their distinctiveness. They bring up the whole witch factor thing again. It's all kind of weird, weird and confusing, and this is where I'm going to call on you guys to try and maybe explain a few of these things in the comments section for me, because so much happens in this episode that is just nuts. I mean, that and just the introduction of Garfield, who, again, I think is a really fun character. Like Frederica, he's very intense, but he just really loves to fight, and he's really crazy, looking a lot like her, and I hope to see a little bit more of him in the future. I'm finally glad that we got back to Ram again. Again, Subaru is struggling with her because he doesn't know whether to tell her about her sister, and she wouldn't even know anyway. You can tell that he kind of holds back on that in this episode. And then Amelia, the fact that she's going to finally take a proactive role in the series outside of just standing around and looking super adorable, I'm glad to see this. I really hope that it's not just going to be the Subaru show again in the next episode, which it looks like that's kind of what it's leaning towards, but I just want to see her do more. She seems like such a wasted character in the series thus far, because she's always, for the most part, kind of just been a side character in the background, where I feel she should be the main heroine of the show, and most of the time that's been dedicated to Rem and Ram. Rem in particular, but Rem's on the sidelines this season, so now it's time for Amelia to step up. Otherwise, this was another solid addition to the series, which is why I'm going to give this episode a 5 out of 5. You heard my thoughts. I want to get yours. Sound off in the comment section below on what you hope to see from the next big episode of ReZero, what you thought about this episode, what you liked, what you didn't like, any theories as to truly what's going on with Echidna, the introduction of the other witch characters. What do you want to see for the future of ReZero? Let's have a big discussion all about it in the comment section below. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Use your witch factor to hit that like button. Helps out these videos tremendously. I also want to thank all of the amazing ladies and gentlemen who have been checking out my Patreon page. You guys have not only been making some amazing donations, but you've been giving me a lot of great feedback on all of my videos, how I can improve them, and of course, if you make a donation through my Patreon, I'll review an anime series of your choice, and I would love to add your name to this list of amazing people who continue to support this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.